Good morning and welcome everybody to the DFS Army YouTube channel. I'm Razzle11 or Razzle11 Grinds on Twitter. Taking a look at the pitching options for Tuesday, April 18th, tax day, unfortunately. Uh, but yeah, we have, I think it's an 11 game main slate. There are two doubleheaders today, which really mess with projections and optimizers across the industry. So we're going to want to make sure everything is set with those. But let's take a look at the main slate. And as always, I use DraftKings because that's primarily where my action is. And we do have to use two pitchers, so it forces us to dig in a little more than on FanDuel. We're going to start here at the top. And, the one name I'm definitely going to use always is Spencer Strider. The K upside is ridiculous. Um, has struggled a little bit the last couple with pitch count, and only going 5 innings in each, allowing 3 runs in each. He did face San Diego 2 starts ago, struck out 9 in 5 innings. I mean, there's not much else I can say about Strider's upside. Huge K ability, uh, and what that offers us is also a stronger floor than some of these other pitchers. So I am definitely spending up on Strider, and always, or I should say, almost always will. Um, One guy that I am not using is going to be Clayton Kershaw. Uh, Obviously, huge fan, being a baseball fan, big fan of Kershaw and what he's been able to do in his career. Just not a huge fan of the matchup. Uh, the Mets aren't striking out a whole lot, and Kershaw has looked less than sharp the last couple starts. Uh, he definitely did not have his best stuff against San Francisco. He gutted it out to get there, but I'm not really looking for that from a 10.1K play on this slate. So Kershaw is going to be faded by myself and hopefully most of DFS Army tonight. Um, One guy on my I'm not sure yet list would be Jordan Montgomery. My initial thought is I'm probably going to fade, but he has been solid. He just doesn't have the big K upside that I like to see out of somebody that's 9,500. I know he struck out 9 against Milwaukee, and we were on him in that start in this video, uh, back on the 8th. So I just don't know that I want to pay 9,500 for a guy that might only get us 5 or 6 strikeouts. Um, I think there's a better options with some similar upside or more upside for cheaper. So there's the two guys that I'm probably fading. Montgomery's still up in the air. Kershaw for sure a fade. Well, Strider's a play. Um, Going down, Stroman. I don't really believe in his start to the season, but he is facing Oakland. The game has the lowest total on the slate, and I'm just going to trust him with the way his stuff is going right now, uh, and then jump off. I guess when I feel like his stuff is backing up or weakening a little bit, but he's been so strong. The huge ground ball rates, like ridiculous, um, which is great to see, especially on an efficiency site like DraftKings. Some easy innings, less hits, that sort of thing. Strikeouts are up a little higher than I would have thought. So, like I said, I'm just going to ride this out until he he kind of backs off what he's been doing to start the season. But great spot, low total, strong favorite, easy play for me today. Going to probably end up on Sonny Gray, but I'm not overly confident about it right now. Uh, Kind of mixed reports this morning. It is supposed to be cold in Boston, but the game has such a high total that like I'm a little worried. Um, and one of the big issues here is his pitch count numbers jump all over the place. He was dominating against the White Sox last start out, but came out after 78 pitches through 5. The start before that, he threw 98 through 7 against the strong Houston team with 13 strikeouts. So we see what the upside is. Um, so I want to be on Gray. I just have to dig in a little bit more to the weather because we know that Fenway Park is pretty pretty ripe for offense. So um, we'll add Sonny Gray to the Jordan Montgomery list of I need to dig in more to get an idea. Uh, Another guy that I'm definitely playing is going to be Logan Gilbert. I know the Brewers have exploded a bit here and there, but I like this guy's upside. Uh, take out the middle start against Cleveland, who we generally aren't using starting pitching against because they don't really strike out a ton, get on base quite a bit. You take out that start, even in the first start against Cleveland, he was dominant, and then the last start against the Cubs, he was dominant as well. So um, he's going to be one of my favorite, I guess, mid price. I wouldn't even call 8,500 mid, but it's definitely lower than the top tier. So that's a spot I'm definitely going to look at. So I can see myself ending up with a decent amount of Strom and Gilbert lineups tonight. I will be fading Blake Snell. I just don't like what I'm seeing out of him. His K numbers are strong against Colorado, but the last two games, he's walking too many guys, giving up home runs. One of those starts was against this Atlanta squad where he went negative on DK. So until Snell shows me that he's figured it out or straightened it out, I'm going to fade his whip of over two. Um, like I said, efficiency sites allowing that many base runners, not good for our return. Going to go down, and one guy that I'm debating playing is going to be Chris Sale. Similar to the Sonny Gray situation, I have to dig in. Uh, Sale hasn't looked great. Strong game against Detroit with the strikeouts and ended up with 19 DK points, which is solid. Uh, he's been all over the place. Doesn't look like the Chris Sale we're used to. But the biggest thing for me is that the Twins do not line up very well against him and left-handed pitchers right now. So I think there's a chance for Sale to be pretty strong. The Twins are striking out a pretty decent rate. So um, I might just have to go to Sale and close my eyes and click the draft player. He does get an extra day of rest, which is definitely important. So I think Sale is definitely in play for my GPP builds. Um, and kind of going down to the bottom, I don't really see any guys that are going to stand out for me. Um, Two guys that are interesting that are really more dart plays. Josiah Gray against the strong Baltimore offense. Gray has looked pretty good the last two starts. Uh, so I think he's somebody that's sneaky. There is K ability, but it is super volatile, and I don't know if we need to go there. And another one then is going to be Clark Schmidt. Hasn't looked great. Looked great this spring, but then once the season started, has not looked great. On paper, facing the Angels, you're like, oh, that's going to be a tough matchup. Uh, the one thing that stood out to me is how Schmidt has been absolutely destroyed by left-handed bats, and he's been really strong against right-handed bats beginning the season. And when you look at the Angels, they are extremely right-hand heavy in their lineup. So there's some potential for an upside game from Schmidt in a spot that might be one that everybody overlooks. So, if I had to make a sneaky GPP call, it's going to be on Clark Schmidt tonight. Uh, so there we have it. We have a list of some of my plays and fades on this slate. I will go more in depth with my notes later today. So if you are a DFS Army member, make sure you check those out. And if you aren't, why not? You can use promo code RAZ for 10% off your monthly membership with us. I will put links in the description below. And if you could hit the like button, uh, make sure you're subscribed. It really helps us out at DFS Army. So again, always hit the comments if you have any questions, you have any thoughts on some of the calls I made, you have any stands that you want to take, hit them in the comments. I try to get back and check them throughout the day when I can. And as always, best of luck, everybody.